To install or remove the pedals on your Peloton bike, you're going to need a 15mm box end wrench, similar to something like this. A wrench also comes in the kit that comes with the bike. You can use that. What you do not want to use is an adjustable wrench like this. The problem with an adjustable wrench is, as you can see towards the back of the jaws of this wrench, they are tapered wider. See how wide the back end of this wrench is? That space prevents this wrench from properly fitting over the entire pedal bolt. The pedal bolt goes into the crank assembly, and it's critical that it remains perpendicular to prevent it from accidentally cross-threading while installing it. As you can see, the jaws of this wrench don't really cover this bolt. On the other hand, if I use my box end wrench, you can see I get a good grip. It's fully covered, and it's not catching on the side of the pedal and the side of the crank arm. Because we're on the left side of the bike, this pedal is actually reverse threaded, meaning whereas you would normally go clockwise to tighten a bolt and counterclockwise to loosen a bolt, because this is reverse threaded, we're going to go clockwise to loosen the bolt, like so. Once you break this loose, you can continue to use the wrench, or you can thread this, remove this by hand. Check to make sure the threads within the crank are clean. Check to make sure that they're not damaged. They should look like this. You should see clear, deep grooves in the crank for the threads of the pedal to fit onto. If anything looks like it's been smoothed over or smashed, then you may need to get a new crank arm and maybe a new pedal set. Typically these things get damaged by cross-threading. I recommend that you always start pedal installation by hand, not with a wrench. So in this case, we're going to screw counterclockwise to start tightening the pedal. And as you can see, this is already partly in. And you're going to want to tighten until you can no longer see the threads. And this pedal bolt will actually stop spinning. Now you don't have to get these pedals super tight. They won't fall off as long as nothing is cross-threaded. And you can see how easily this is turning on. The installation is going, how easily I can turn this pedal bolt. And there we go. It won't let me go any further. So I'm going to give it just a little cinch, and that's it. We don't need to over tighten this. Now I'm on the right side of the bike. This is the forward part of the bike, and this is the right side pedal. One way you can tell which side the pedal is meant to go is that there's a little R, L or R, depending on which side you're on, right here, stamped into the bottom of the pedal. So in this case we want to go, because we're on the right side of the bike, we want to go clockwise to start the pedal. Again, I recommend starting this using your hand. You should be able to thread the pedal into the crank almost the entire way without using any tools. It does get a little clumsy, as you can see. It's gets harder for me to stick my fingers in here and turn this in between the pedal assembly and the crank. So I switched to my 15mm wrench and finish the job. This should go in very easily. If you feel any resistance, it feels like it's not going in, you may be cross-threading it, or the threads may already be damaged, and you need to stop and remove the pedal and take a look and see if the threads are crushed at all, or have been smashed either on the pedal bolt or the crank itself. But there you go, this is on. I'll give it a little pull here. That's about it, just to make sure it's tight. This will not back off. As you can see, the way you would normally pedal on this bike is the same direction that's going to cause the bolt to actually tighten itself against the crank. So it's not going to unscrew itself easily while you're riding the bike. Same thing on the left side. That's why it's reverse threaded, because on the left side, when you're pedaling forward, the counterclockwise motion will actually tighten the pedal bolt against the crank. And that's it.